So do you chase opportunities or do you attract them? That is a question today we have in this room. And that one question will help you understand how you build, how you attract, how you connect, right? And how you create. And of course, now that also implies that the results you get is based on how you do all those things. So today we are going to learn all that. How should we attract and not chase? All right? So that is what we want to hear today. And for this conversation today, we are joined by one incredible woman. She is an incredible one, I tell you for a fact, and this is for free, that she's a beautiful woman, incredible, beautiful inside and out. I have interacted with her so many times, and she always enriches my life. Every conversation we have with you, Lillian, it always adds value. It always gives me, I always want to grow and to evolve. Just having conversations with you. So I'm really honored to have you here today.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for having me.
Karibu sana Lillian. Lillian has gone through a lot of challenges. You'll talk to us about that.
Yeah.
Lillian has gone through so many setbacks. She's gone through so many obstacles. She's gone through breakthroughs. Lillian has different wins, small, big, all types of wins.
Yes.
This same Lillian here has seen it all. And she's come out with an incredible book, and that is what we want to review today. And the book is on average thinkers, chase, and high-level thinkers attract. So we want to unpack this because I know this book is a sum total of your journey. I've gone through this book. I still have to go through it like another 5 times to unpack the different frameworks in there, the different tools that you've given us. And for me, the fact that I know you have walked the walk, you're not just talking the talk, because I know that, then this book really comes to life for me. It is something that I'm applying and reflecting from day in and day out. But again, thank you so much for writing this book for us and allowing us to just plug into your journey. Thank you very much. So Karibu Lillian, we want to hear your voice. We want to hear who is Lillian. Who are you, Lillian? For people who don't know you and never seen you or heard of you.
Wow. Where do we start? Let me start by first introducing myself. I'm Lillian Ngirichi. I am the Clarity Master. But besides that, what I do, I'm a strategy and growth consultant and coach. I use a clarity-driven approach for all the works we do, the coaching, the business classes that we have for entrepreneurs. At the end of the day, before you even get to do a strategy, you need to understand your why, your purpose. First of all, as a human being, which now translates as a strategy or as a base of a strategy for building a thriving business. So understanding your clarity to developing strategies, moving from survival to thriving. That is what I do, and that is how I help entrepreneurs, business leaders, founders, and professionals to get to. So in summary, I'm a clarity-driven strategy consultant and coach working with business leaders who can be founders, entrepreneurs, and professionals.
Wow, that's very articulate.
Including managers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Lillian, for introducing yourself. Are you a mother? Are you a single girl? Who are you in that aspect?
I am a proud mother of 2 girls.
Yes.
So it's always written here on my face.
Yes.
I have 2 beautiful girls, Nicolette and Amalda, grade 6, grade 5. That should be about 12 and 11 years old, Monday, Tuesday. Or is it Sunday, Monday? Yeah, I am a proud mother. I am faith-driven, anchored in Christ, spirit-led, and for me, I'm that entrepreneur or consultant or that child of God who always seeks direction. And I wasn't always like this. It's something I knew I needed to do. I needed to anchor myself to God. Having gone through what I've gone through, I mean, life has to be anchored on something. I chose the light, which is God. So I say it with all authority, faith-driven, yes, and anchored in Christ.
Interesting.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, without further ado, let us dive deep into this wonderful book. And let's talk about something that really jumped out on me, and that is something that you wrote on page 29. It says, attraction is not an accident.
Yes.
It is the result of deliberate alignment, selective visibility, and high-level presence. Right? So this really, for me, was like, whoa, that attraction is not an accident. It just doesn't happen. Could you kindly unpack that for us?
Yeah. I think the best way to unpack that is by starting with my journey, just a brief bit of it, because it's heavily related to what I did here. So when we talk of challenges, I'm this woman who's had mega businesses before, and to be precise, two. But I'll talk about the recent one because that is where everything changed for me. And I will say it, I was that person who was always chasing until late last year, or actually early last year, things started or things are not going as planned. How I would say this, I'm one person who's very hardworking, very committed to everything that I do. However, there's an aspect of entrepreneurs, a shift from comfort to understanding that you're an entrepreneur that doesn't happen in us. That transition from employment to knowing that you are now at the helm, or you are now holding the wheel of a ship. That transition for many entrepreneurs, founders, especially people who are running businesses, never happens, or you never even realize that it's supposed to happen. In this recent one, I came from a high-paying job, very well. I was very comfortable. But when I left, I forgot, or I think my mindset was still, I'm that still high-flying COO, CEO in this company. But what actually needed to happen is that I needed to have a mind shift from CEO, COO to an actual business owner, and now start acting as one. In employment, the owner of the business shields you. You have everything. You have a salary, you have structures in place. Your job is to drive strategy. You're not involved in that shoe of being the business owner. That burden of a business owner is never there when you're employed. And I think that is where the disconnection comes in. When you're coming from a high-paying job, then you're getting into entrepreneurship. Then you're here still with the same mindset. You still shielded. That's a transition that needs to happen. It never happened to me. It never happened for me, especially in the second business that I did. Because my mindset was still employment mindset, COO, CEO. I had all the resources. So when I stepped out, that was the same mindset I had. That particular business, we spent over 20 million on it to build that whole thing. But it never turned out as it was supposed to be. As a matter of fact, I actually lost it. There was so much pressure, there was so much stress from left, right, and center. Remember, I came from comfort, brought the same mindset here. So in this business, you have nowhere to look. And really, you've not really had that shift that you need to now look at yourself as an entrepreneur, as a founder, with the one who's carrying the whole weight. So what I did, I chose to hide. What do I mean by that? I chose to hide hoping things are going to change. So when time for paying salary came, bills, that's a time I'm remembering, my God, I need to figure out where to get this money from. And by hiding, I mean doing things that were not really generating revenue. I would say actually like 90% of what I was doing in that period after actually during the construction and even after, 90% of my time was spent hiding. But what was I hiding? Someone would call me and tell me, Lillian, I have this idea. Can we meet in Java? And I would go. I would actually spend a whole day for a cup of coffee, and I would download my strategies, my ideas. I would actually give them for free. And I would actually even enjoy doing that. At the end of the day, I am exhausted. My team would come and tell me we need this, but I can't think. I'm exhausted because I wasn't working on what I was supposed to be doing. So to cut the long story short, I ended up losing the business. It was painful, very painful. I lost everything. And the wake-up call came when one time, last December, 2 days to my birthday, it rained. I think it was 19th October, and it rained so hard. We were coming from a place, and I remember floods just came from nowhere in a place that you can't even explain. And that's how I would say the car drowned. And it was a 2 hours wait. At that moment, I couldn't even tell myself to get out of the car. But it was raining so heavily, and the safest thing to do when you're found in such a situation is to try and figure out how to get out of the car. In that moment, that car was rocking. It was very scary. But I froze. That is when I realized life is too short, because it was an experience. It was a very scary experience. Well, after going home, after we were rescued, going home, I was still on adrenaline. I wasn't shaken. However, the following day, everything, the loss of the business, the drowning, everything came at once, and I had these bad panic attacks. I would shake, sweat from nowhere, and I thought, that is it. My life is gone. I've lost everything. Starting from my business, I started getting sick. My hands, because of the anxiety and the pressure, would turn white. I would actually be very pale, and I would look like an old woman. I was different. My whole body changed, my face changed. I started getting these wrinkles. I started looking old because of all those pressures. I remember that holiday I didn't go home. First of all, I couldn't drive because of that trauma. And I couldn't face the people I love. My parents tell them that I'm in the process of losing my business. Because at that point I had already lost it, because it was just a matter of time for me to be told, go out, which happened in January. I eventually lost it. My doors were shut. And one thing I remember is I never cried. Oh. I was so still, which was quite scary, even for my mom. Actually, what my mom did, she came. Because she thought, well, it is true, I was in depression. That is what happens. But I had gone through a lot. The loss of the car. This is a business. I've spent 20 million. The realization that I've spent 90% of the time running away from what I'm supposed to be doing. It all came at once. Then the realization that I've lost a prior business before. That one was actually a bigger business. It was worth much more than what I had invested in this particular one. And I felt like a failure. I'll be very honest. Up to a point, I couldn't face my daughters, my two beautiful girls. And I remember one time, one of my friends, during that period, one of my friends was very consistent with me. He would call me every day and pray with me. He told me, Lillian, I don't have anything I can give you, but the best I can do for you is to pray with you. And slowly my friends, I had a number of friends. Well, of course I lost some, but there are those who chose to fight for me. There's actually a lady who chose to even pay me just to get me out of the house. She would call me, come, I have some work for you. And I'd look at that work and I'm like, okay, I'll do it because I need the money. However, I knew she was trying to get me to earn that cent, to get me to the next step. And that is how I survived. My friends would get me from the house just to make sure I'm not seated in the house. One actually accommodated me in his office and they would actually check on me to ensure that I'm okay. And well, I wasn't okay. But that period, not staying in the house, but having a place I'm going to every day, gave me a lifeline. And that period got me to a point I need to stop running. I remember even one of my friends telling me, I think, Lillian, you've been running too long. You need to stop running. And I'm there like, what do you mean I'm running? I have been giving my best. I do what is supposed to be done. The only thing I didn't realize that I was always busy. Busyness with a Y, and I wasn't in business. So
let us go back a bit. I want to, before we talk about the busyness with the Y, not with the I.
With
the
Y, not with the I.
Yes. Yeah, that is actually in your book, and I love it.
Yes.
I want to take you a little bit just back there, because we have people who are watching, and they have found themselves in that situation. Where you are up here, I mean, people looked at you in a certain way, people respected you, people opened gates, people are running to serve you. You know that feeling of, you know, the boss is here and everybody's scattering and, you know, just making sure you're comfortable and all that. Now from up there, all right, with no warning, with no preparation.
To zero.
To zero. Because here we're not talking to 5, we're talking to 0. All right.
Actually, with a minus, because there were debts, and serious debts.
I can only imagine. So now you're down there. I want us to try and understand what you are going through. What was it? What was the story you're giving yourself at that point? Because at that point, before your friends called to pray with you, to walk with you, what was Lillian telling herself every morning? I'm imagining you going to be hosted in somebody's office, to be packed inside a small office somewhere. And just a few weeks ago, you had all these dreams. I mean,
very big
all these big bills that you're paying, and now the stature, and you know, as
a
it
vehicle,
comes, and the package,
which was no longer
and the vehicle. I know what we are talking about. Not just a vehicle, but the vehicle.
Yes,
I know it.
A drowned one, for that matter.
But I want to try and understand for myself and for my audience, what is that story you're telling yourself at that point? Because that is a very small, a very thin line. I want to call it a thin line, because that's where people come in and really lose themselves, get very sick. Unfortunate things happen to most people when they get there. It's a very thin line. So how did you navigate to make sure, and like for your mental wellness, for your physical wellness, to just navigate through those few days before now your next? Because by that time you don't know what is your next. So how did you go through that?
First of all, to start with the feeling, I felt like a failure. I rejected myself, I'll be very honest with you. I didn't know how to move on, and it was quite scary. And I beat myself up. And here I am, I'm a strategist, I'm supposed to get businesses up, and here I've dropped a whole business worth. 20 million is what we spent. I had spent about 2 years building this business, so it's possibly more than that. I felt like a failure. I felt I had failed my team, my staff. I had failed everyone around me, including myself. And I'll be very honest with you, Rebecca, at one point, I honestly thought of committing suicide. Yes, that is something I haven't shared. But this particular time, there was something that was different. It's a period I realized I needed God in my life. So I I have 2 girls. Being a mom of 2 girls, I don't like calling myself a single parent, because I have all these beautiful, wonderful people who are around me, my parents, my sister, my brothers, my friends, and I'm a complete family. I don't like referring to myself as a single mom. So At that point, yes, I felt I had failed everyone because I'm this kind of person who looks like I have it all.
True.
I am composed, I know what I'm doing. Then here I am, things are different on this other side. And when I say at one point I felt like committing suicide, there's something a mother's love does. My mom was in my house throughout. I would wake up in the morning shaking, panicked, literally. And my mom would just hold my hands and pray for me. And should actually push me to open my laptop and tell me, think what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. So it's an emotional period. Yeah. One thing my mom did for me is that she'd wake me up at 5. During that time, she was in my house and pray. So I'm here looking at her wondering, why are you praying? My God has failed me. Yeah. And she never stopped. Yeah. She prayed. She filled in the gap for me. And yeah. I remember one time she told me, open your laptop. And I'll just stare at it blankly. I don't know what to do with a laptop. I'm in this networking group. No one knows what is happening. And I'm supposed to be a mentor. And I remember I still had a few classes. One of my students told me, said that he's not gonna shut up. He actually told a few who cared to listen. And when my network got to understand what I'm doing, I got overwhelming support. I think that for me was a turning point. First of all, my mom being around and not looking at me as a failure, looking at me as this firstborn daughter of hers, who has so much potential. Should even go like, you have so much in you, find it. When she tells me open the laptop, it was a way of getting me to go back to the beginning. But even opening the laptop, I couldn't see anything. I had lost my identity, I had lost my purpose. So I think my turning point was my friends in my network fighting for me when I had already told myself I now need to figure out something. I was actually going to even look for a job. But my mom was here. She's like, you're not called for a job. She was very clear that it's not a job you need. You need to figure out your purpose. You need to figure out your why. She was very clear. Before I would have been pushed to a job, but this one, she knew you're not for a job. Your failure doesn't mean that you can't restart your business. So my friends fighting for me, I got to realize or to understand my why and my purpose. So I remember one person telling me, Lillian, we can't let you go. You've helped us with your business. And that networking group paid my subscription for that period. And I was like, my God, this is God trying to tell me something. That time I had joined a prayer group called Ladies of Valor, LOV. And I was very consistent with it because it gave me hope. Even listening to other ladies who've gone through something, I was like, okay, so what I'm going through is nothing compared to, well, it is something, but you look at what is happening out there and you're like, you can redeem yourself. Turning point came when I went to my daughter's school and I saw her performance. Because the previous year had been something. She's a very bright child, but we couldn't figure out what was happening. I didn't realize that this period had changed a lot of things. Apparently, behind the scene, they could see their mom is really working hard to get them to where they are. So I go to school, and my daughter, my second-born daughter, I see her performance. There was a big turnaround. Same as my first-born daughter. Well, she's good, but she became better. No complaints from school. No, all these things. And I was like, if I'm going to change something, it will be for these little girls and for me too. What I did, I took a selfish approach. I'll be very honest with you. Remember before, 90% was something that didn't belong to me, what I was doing, something that didn't belong to me. 10% is what I had reserved for myself. And with my mom also pushing that. I remember my sister one day telling me that she dreamt me serving in my own wedding. And it told a lot that I was not really focusing on myself.
Okay.
I took that selfish approach, very deliberate, to figure out who I am, what is my purpose, what is my calling. And yes, it was quite overwhelming for me to even realize I was throwing my pearls away. I was not monetizing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm very good in strategy development. My friend called me an architect. I'm this person who's able to look at your business and I'll tell you, let's tweak this and it's gonna work. And it actually worked even in my previous employment. I realized I was giving that away for a cup of coffee. Of course, there was that slap. There was that big slap. I got to understand why I was always tired because I was really exhausted. I have a small structure, so what that means, I get away with anything that I eat. But at the end of the day, I was always exhausted. So I also had to do an audit on my lifestyle, what I'm putting in my body, what my life is about. I did a complete time, energy, lifestyle audit for myself, by myself. And I have this friend who I sat with and asked her, can you tell me what you think I'm good at? And that was my starting point. So with that feedback, plus what I was getting, the testimonials, because it was a very emotional period for myself and even for the people around me, I got a lot of information. That is what I picked for me, sat down and did a whole clarity check for myself. Remember I told you during that period, I felt like I was worthless. I felt I had no purpose. I was ready to go. And I told myself, I need to find my purpose. So slowly, there's something that happens when you decide to change something about yourself. When you decide to take that first step, things start coming. But remember, you need to take the first step.
Yes.
You tell yourself, I am moving from this point to this other point. Something changes. And what happens is that even the people around you will start connecting with that energy and push the same positive energy to you, and they will start supporting you. So I try to maintain a positive energy, speak less, listen more, and just rebuild my energy. I remember a friend telling, I was telling her that I feel empty. And she told me, relax, take a step back. It's time for other people to start filling in your cup. And that cup will not fill itself just like that. You need to show the initiative. You need to have that positive attitude. You need to move from complaining to, this is what I think I need to do. This is what I need to do. That small step changes a lot of things. Rebecca, that small step, people will meet you midway. And slowly, I started rebuilding myself, step by step, slow, chewing or taking things slowly. But this time, I was doing it differently, with clarity, with purpose. I actually had to even give my purpose a sentence. Lillian, who are you? What is your purpose? I also discovered that your purpose, your talents are not for you to keep. That is what you give out to earn a living and to even monetize. When we are told about Matthew, I can't remember the exact verse, multiplication of talents. I got to understand what it actually means. It starts with your talents, your purpose. Mine is clarity building and restoring of purpose. First of all, I always feel this connection with entrepreneurs and business leaders because they drive strategy, which could be seen by my work. When you're creating strategy, you're developing a vision, you're developing a mission, you're developing goals, which align very much with my purpose. I'm this person who brings in clarity. That is something that was very common, that I'm able to break down simple, very huge, complex things into very simplified things. Bring clarity, help in building, helping in restoration. I found my purpose. And with that clarity, I started packaging myself and remolding myself. I know my purpose. I know I'm supposed to multiply this talent, this gift that I have. How do I multiply it? I really studied that. It's usually in 2 books, Matthew and Luke. I read both of them separately, trying to understand how do I multiply my purpose. Yes, I have this. So this package 1, I can use it with entrepreneurs. This package 2, we know strategy does not drive itself. It's driven by leaders, and people need to buy into it to move forward. So back to page 29.
Yes.
Of attracting.
Yes.
That whole journey, attraction starts with a positive attitude, clarity. It doesn't just come by accident. It comes by realizing I need to change things from old to a newer approach. When I say opportunities don't just come by accident, or attracting doesn't come by accident, from that journey you will realize how I moved from chasing to taking a step back, to finding my purpose, which now attracts. People are now able to relate with Lillian. Oh, Lillian mwenyewa, clarity. Oh, she will help you build her business. Before, it was everywhere. Hey, Lillian, I can't understand what you do. You're here with this, with a co-working space. You're here with trainings. You're here with management. Who are you? What do you do? I needed to change that bit first. And when I changed, I'll be very honest with you, Rebecca, I started attracting the right people.
Yeah.
I stopped
so
being...
at that point is when now you realized, now this attracting, because this book is mostly about attracting.
Yes.
High-level thinkers attract.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So, because most, I want to put myself in that space, but I'm also coming out of that space, but each somewhere still in there. We want to keep ourselves busy. Again, the busyness.
Running
the
away.
Why.
Yes.
We run away, in your
Yes.
words. And because we want to look productive. We are not productive.
Yeah.
But we want to look like that because we care so much about how people see us.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So for you, you're telling us, I want that point to be very clear for all of us who are listening to this conversation, that how you stopped chasing and you started attracting, because again, there's that small, gap where you feel if I'm not waking up to look, to call, to go for the coffees, I might not just be, maybe I will not be seen. Maybe they will not remember I exist.
Yes.
So there's a temptation to keep chasing and calling and looking and, I don't know, it's us. It's in us as humans. So how do you navigate through and now be quiet and be still in your spirit to wait to attract? You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me first address that bit of the calls and all that. In this book, I've started with the law of positioning.
Yeah.
And with positioning comes knowing your purpose, your why, and getting even a clear JD of yourself of who you should be targeting, who you should be calling. Most of the time, when we are talking of chasing, it means you're chasing every opportunity out there that is not really aligned.
It's not aligned with your purpose.
With your purpose and with your why.
All right.
And remember, for me, let me take you back. Remember when I mentioned that 90% of my time was spent doing other people's job. Are you getting?
Yes.
What was I doing at that time? I was pleasing, hoping to be seen, but running away from. That is chasing.
Look relevant.
Trying to prove.
Yeah, trying to
that
prove.
you're not irrelevant.
That's in your book, yeah.
Yes. But how you know, actually, let me even break it down further. How you know you're chasing is that you're always reactive. You're always having excuses, including even being late, when you can wake up early and plan yourself. You always...
Please highlight that sentence. Highlight it. Highlight it.
Yes. Yeah. So always having a victim mentality.
Yeah.
These ones did not go right. But even with the failure of that particular business, I took up the responsibility. That is something I had not done with the other one. I kept blaming, I kept giving excuses.
So you took responsibility
for this.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by taking responsibility means taking a step back and figuring out
and
what
owning
happened.
the process. Yeah.
Yes. There are other factors that may have contributed, but what part did I play? Because that is the root cause you need to figure out, you need to find.
Yes.
For you to move forward. When I'm talking about chasing, that phone call or that networking place you're going, why are you going there?
Yeah.
What are you getting? What are you going to get? What are you doing? Does it align to your why of you being there? That is what we call chasing. So there's a statement I always like saying, even telling my clients, without clarity, purpose, and a strategy, everything and anything looks like an opportunity.
Right. Please repeat that again.
Without clarity, purpose, and a strategy, anything and everything looks like an opportunity.
Wow, that is deep.
Yes, so now that will explain why those calls you're always making, hoping to be seen, you're always in those networking events, looking glamorous, but are you commanding the room? Are people understanding what it is that you're doing, or you're just there for the sake of doing it? Are you in the right room, you know? Are you just there to be seen, or are you there for a purpose?
Yeah, in fact, Lillian, what I'm thinking is this, because I've been there. I have been a chaser. You know, a professional chaser. Now, the other thing I also think, in my opinion, that how you know you're chasing, maybe we can talk a little bit about that. How do you know you're chasing? How do you know you're attracting? For me, how I knew, or how I know even today that I'm chasing, that today was not productive or just chasing, is in the evening I'm feeling so, you know, tired.
Exhausted.
I am exhausted. I am, my energy is drained.
Yes.
All right? I'm sort of like in a depressive mood. And everybody else who saw me thought, oh, she's doing it. She's there.
Yes.
We saw her on social media. I mean, she's doing the thing. But deep down inside, I knew that that was not a productive day.
Yeah.
According to everybody else, it might have looked like one, but I know. All right?
Yeah.
So could you give us other pointers how you know you're a chaser and you're not an attractor?
I call them modes.
Okay.
I'll start with the first one, which I think it's very, very visible in the book.
Yes.
There's a survival mode.
Okay, yes. You talk
I think
about the survival mode.
That is very common with people.
Yes.
As long as I get rent for today, as long as I get fuel for today, as long as I get airtime for today, I'm okay. But is that really okay?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
2.
Yes.
Victim mode. I didn't get this because of this. I lost that job because of this. That constant, I got late, my hair is my issue, my everything, you know. That victim mentality, that is also how you get to know.
Something is wrong.
Something is wrong.
Yeah, you're always the one who has a problem. You're always the one who is, like we say in Kiswahili, nimeonewa. You know,
the pity parties.
People didn't notice me in that room. I did so much.
Can I surprise you?
Yeah.
Misery loves company.
Oh.
That's how you're told. The people around you
yes.
will determine how you come out
yes.
in whatever situation you're in.
Yeah.
So the third one is always being on a reactive mode. Those are the modes I call about. I talk about. Reactive is rent is due today. My God, I have rent. You know, I'm supposed to do this, but it's just coming out. The other way you also get to know is lack of fulfillment. Because sometimes we do things for the money, which, well, is good, but it puts you on survival mode. There's a difference when you're earning money from your purpose and your why, and earning money because you need money. Earning money from your why and purpose gets you to a position of high-level thinking and thriving. Earning money because you want the money. For example, you're doing a job that you really hate, but you're there, you're surviving. Trust me, you'll never do much with that. You'll be always on survival mode. You'll always be complaining because you're doing something that you don't like. Those are the top three that are very common with how you know you.
Yes, yes.
You're not aligned.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, something is out. Something
is out. And then also the constant burnouts, especially
that
burnouts,
especially,
stress, anxiety, fear. Did I forget to mention fear?
Fear is a big one.
Do you know that is...
Fear is a big one.
Oh, it's something that can really hold you back.
Yeah.
I tell my clients, everyone has issues, but it's the ability on how to be on top of them that determines. Talking of fear, what are the causes of fear? It's a topic I like talking about a lot. Causes of fear, especially for an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Debts.
Debt. Oh, that's number one.
Debts.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking from someone who's been there, that debts can ruin your thinking, your thought process, your opportunities. I'll give you an example. Yeah. There's one time during that period, even slightly after, when I started getting on my feet, I had my phone switched off for a whole day. Guess what? In that day, there was one that had an opportunity, one call that had an opportunity.
Oh.
Unfortunately, when I was calling the following day, the job was supposed to be done. So I remember it was a Wednesday, so I'm switching on my phone on a Thursday. Unfortunately, I had lost that opportunity that would have been actually a breakthrough for me because of fear. I'm afraid these calls that are getting in, these debts, how do I go about it? With debts, the solution is not to hide.
Yeah.
You need to actually be on top of it. Another cause of fear is failure. What will people perceive me? You know? Those are the things that we struggle with. The other is, I am not enough. I am not ready. It is not time. Oh my God.
Especially for us women, the I am not enough.
Yes.
It's a very common one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Simply because of a failure
Yeah.
or something that happened.
Yes.
But when you get yourself to be on top of it, you take charge, you take charge of those debts. You don't know where the money is going to come from to pay those debts. But the fact that you're communicating, you're explaining, well, some will take you to court and all that. But you will need to constantly be putting in actions on it. Remember the multiplication of talents?
Yes.
I can bundle this and sell. Still in your purpose, and I'll be able to pay a little bit of this. Constant communication, that is how you take charge of situation. With fear, you need, that is usually the greatest. It's actually even a prayer item. You need to pray to get away from fear. And the moment that fear goes, you walk like a lion or an elephant in the jungle. And opportunities will just come. You start attracting. You are that person then, but not now. That is the power of moving, power of positive attitude, power of saying, I am not going to survive, because fear, debts, all those things, failure, get you to survival. You just want to be seen for today. Tomorrow, I will deal with it. But what is thriving? Thriving is actually putting up a plan for both short-term and long-term. Putting in the work to farm. God, this is what I have in my hands. Bless it. It can be blessed if you haven't put in the work. However small it is, that is where it starts.
And something else about fear. Let me just point this out. Because I've been in that space for many years. Just fear of the unknown, fear of everything. Just fear, you know. And when you have fear, you stagnate. When you have fear, you freeze. So you know you need to take a step, but the fear shows you don't have the capacity or you don't have what it takes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And at that point, what I've done in the past, which I still do, I always look around myself, because you always have somebody in your networks who has what you really desire to have, yet it does not come to you naturally.
Yes.
So I look around in my networks, and I know at some point I even got your services. I asked you to help me out some years back.
Yes.
And it's because I felt I had so much fear. I was feeling stuck. But I saw Lillian here. Lillian looked like she knew where she was going. And so just asking again, just asking, Lillian, will you help me? I'm feeling stuck in this area. Can you assist me? And, just asking again, because sometimes you could be in that space of frozen. You can't even put those short-term and long-term goals down. I mean, you can't even see them. That fear is bad.
Oh.
So find someone who sees, somebody who has more clarity than you, someone who is in a better vantage point, and they're able to see further than you, because in your state at that point, you ain't seeing nothing. I mean, you are in a dark space. So find someone if you can. And I like what you talked about your networks and how your particular network, some of your friends came in to hold you up at that point.
Yes.
Because there was you needed someone to hold you just a little bit.
Actually, to shed the light.
Yes.
Sometimes you just need someone to just kumulika and you're holding, because if you don't, if your hand is not, light. If you don't stretch out your hand, this person is not going to help you.
Of course.
So you need that person who's holding the torch for you, and you're clinging to whatever it is, even if it's a small piece of cloth, because you are trusting they're going to get you out of there. So that is the difference. So you can have your hand being held, but you're not willing to. You'd rather have someone shedding and you tagging and you trying to get out of it.
And the tagging is not forever.
It's just not forever.
Just a little bit.
A push.
And just a little push, a little boost, just a little bit. Like we were saying earlier about having your car jump started.
Exactly.
Just a little bit, and it
moves.
It moves 100 and 200 and more kilometers. But also there's one thing that I like to advise everyone, which is what I walk, and my reality, my truth is, I feel the fear, but I do it anyway. Feeling that fear, and somebody said, that fear that comes and you feel like you have butterflies in your belly, like they are there and they're crazy. The butterflies are everywhere. Somebody said, just help your butterflies to go in one direction, to settle and just continue being there, but fly in a certain good direction, and then you flow with them. So walk with your fear hand in hand, but do it anyway.
Eventually that fear
it goes.
Yeah. And
eventually it goes.
What happens with fear, Rebecca, you need to find the root cause.
Okay.
You need to find the root cause and face it.
Yeah, because fear sometimes can be good.
Sometimes it can be good, but with fear that is making you stagnate and not move. That kind of fear needs to be addressed from the root cause. Yes.
But I like what you're saying, find the root cause of the fear.
Yes.
It's maybe you're not prepared enough, or maybe, you need an extra skill.
Yes. So remember, sources of fear, debts, failure, those two voices in your head,
Yes.
If it is that, maybe there was a trauma in the past, or an event that happened, like for me, the loss of the businesses, that automatically brings in fear to even do what I'm supposed to be doing. Face that root cause and come out with plans. And I'll be very honest with you, nothing is gonna, including debts, nothing is gonna scare you. As a matter of fact, you'll find yourself paying. I have rebuilt relationship with people I owe, and I've been given chances, Rebecca, because I faced my fear. I didn't refuse to pick their calls anymore after I realized this is what it is. Mine was more of debts, the failure. I am not worth it. I can't do this. I had to face them and get rid of them.
Yeah.
I have rebuilt relationships from that.
Okay.
And actually even understanding, how do I not get into debts again? I had to even come up with a plan that I'm not taking debts anymore. If I can't do this, let it hold.
Yeah.
If I am not clear where I'm going to get the money to pay for something, can it just hold? First of all, I focus on the basics. First, of course, there's the food, rent, and shelter. These are the people around you, the school fees, and all that. If anything else becomes extra, so that is where you get to a point of contentment. That this can hold, knowing that I don't have to do this to please you. It can hold.
Yes.
Then now start with that peace of mind, because you get peace of mind. What facing fear, what it does is that you get a peace of mind. You're able to think. You're not anxious. Yeah. Sometimes you just even take a break first. I know this call is ringing, but I need to come up with a structure.
Yes.
I don't want to get into debt again, so what do? I need to generate revenue.
Yeah.
I don't want to survive, I want to thrive. I need to build wealth. I need to build my networks. I need to build what is going to not to put me in a position of debt. So fear, address it from the root cause. Whatever it is, find it.
Yeah, because there's a root cause.
Yes.
There's always a root cause.
There's always a root cause.
Now, with your journey, Lillian, you've had a beautiful journey. The obstacles, the ups, the downs. Yeah. I mean, the quiet moments, the turbulent moments, all of it. You've seen it all.
Yes.
And of course, I know there's still a longer journey going forward, because life evolves. You keep changing, you keep growing. New setbacks come, new challenges come, new breakthroughs come. That's life. If you were to speak to the Lillian of 10 years ago, now your age today minus 10 years, knowing that, seeing all that you have seen, and you had a chance to go back 10 years back, what would you advise that Lillian?
First of all, I'd want to look at Lillian in, I think, 3 hats. Okay. One, as a woman.
Yes.
As a mother, and as a founder, and an employer, and actually a mentor. So that Lillian, the girl, 10 years ago, actually was running my first business. I was about 27 years old and I started my first business. It was quite big because it had also given out some sort of franchise. It was mega. That Lillian, I would tell her, you need to, first of all, stop being naive.
Okay.
That Lillian, I would tell her, you need God in your life. That Lillian, I would tell her, because then I was a go-getter, because it was an industry that had other giants. I would tell that Lillian the advantages of collaborations and building networks to grow that business. Yes. So I've mixed the entrepreneur, Lillian the entrepreneur. But Lillian the person is to focus, that Lillian 10 years ago is to focus on what is going to build you. I would tell that Lillian to stop living on survival mode and hoping for things to change. I would tell that Lillian, it's not just about the implementation, because I'm very hardworking, I can be very hands-on.
Yes, I know that.
You can empower other people and think at a high level to get that business to the next level. Because that Lillian then was very brave, very bold, but I lacked some skills that would have gotten me to this next level. I think that Lillian then was an average thinker. I would tell her to start being a high-level thinker, because yes, the money was coming in, but what was going out? You're getting, hoping that things are gonna change. That Lillian, then I would tell her, life is full of ups and downs. Don't beat yourself so much. Stop pleasing people and all that. Now, Lillian, the mother. I'm a mother of 2 beautiful girls. Because I was starting my factory then, I would say I spent a lot of time there. That Lillian, I would advise her, balance your time between being, I tried, from where I stand, I tried, but I would have done better as a mom. So the balancing, I call it the 7 wheels of life, where you balance even what you eat, your time, emotions. Because if I had not been on a business survival mode, I would have taken even steps back to realize this factory needs 1, 2, 3 to change. Now, Lillian the entrepreneur. Lillian the entrepreneur then would have applied the principles in this book. The 7
Would she even have known about these principles?
Exactly. So if I was to now tell that Lillian,
Yes.
if it is a possibility, you need to
Yes.
apply this
Yes.
to get from survival mode to thriving.
Yes.
There's this thing, and I tell ladies, you're told you need to work 6 times harder. But
Yeah.
what are we working on? So for me, I knew a woman needs to work 6 times harder. So I was busy. But what does the 6 times harder means? It's high level. It's a 6 times harder in high level thinking, not average
Not
thinking
average
or
thinking.
the hands-on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's a beautiful answer.
Yes.
Yeah, and some of the most common mental blocks that keep people stuck, what are they? Because, you know, we have talked about the way you have navigated through your different points in life, as an entrepreneur, as a mother, and all that in business, from work, employment, to being an entrepreneur. It's been navigating, you know, navigating small ways and big ways, but you have kept moving. There are people who find themselves stuck, all right? And it's because of a mental block. Could you unpack that for us? What do you think that mental block is? And first explain to us, what does being stuck mean for you?
I think, okay, for me, being stuck would mean not being able to move to the next level because I see a barrier.
All right.
And being stuck for me means, now coming from an entrepreneur side, means there's no revenue coming in. There's no growth coming in from a business. There are no referrals coming in. Being stuck would be doing the same thing over and over again, even with no results. That is what it means for me. So answering this, the mental, because being stuck, that means you have a mental block. It's not like there's something visible blocking you.
Yeah.
You've put up a mental barrier
For yourself.
that becomes so real that what it does, it sort of blocks your mind. You can't think around, because ideally if it was physical, you'd move around it, not face.
Yeah.
So being stuck means you can't think on how to do this. You're still doing the same thing over and over again with no results, but you're still doing it anyway. That is busyness. So what causes that? That is where we go to the mental blocks.
Yeah.
I think I'll start with the common one from an entrepreneurial perspective. I don't have the money.
Yeah.
That is usually
Yeah.
number one.
Yes.
In this book, there's the second principle of clarity. We have the law of capital. What does it mean for you? You're saying, I don't have money. But what do you have in yourself that can actually be in form of capital? You know, that is high-level thinking. High-level thinking, it's good to know that you need this money to get to this next level. But it's not there. What should you do? I don't have the money. What is that thing or that knowledge or something that you can apply to be able to generate for you that resource? Because you need the money, but I'll turn it around. What can you do to generate that revenue? Do you want to go back to work for 3 years? Because it's still a plan, or 3 months or a year. That is still a plan. And save. So when you're saying you don't have the money, what are you doing to change that? Are you willing to make a sacrifice for this particular, a certain sacrifice? So I'll also give another one from a business perspective is you don't have the money, you have a very beautiful blooming business, but you're holding on to the shares. I think I remember there was a conversation with Lillian Ngirichi when he mentioned that these businesses, if we were to partner or even give out shares, you'd grow faster. But we are stuck in a position that I'm going to lose my identity. You lose your identity because you don't have clarity. But if you get into a partnership with the right people, you're getting into that partnership with clarity, that this is the person you need. Lack of clarity gets you to misalignment, even with your partners. But with clarity, you're able to choose your right partners without desperation. Are we getting the concept?
But I also want to
money.
understand. Yes, there's that part also. But also let us also jump in a little bit into the partnership part.
Yes.
Because we get our fingers burned. Some of us have very positive stories because we've had partners and the businesses have thrived. Others have very negative stories on partnership. How do we choose the partner to work with? Because when I see you on face value, you know, it's very different because
they're all flowers and roses.
Yes. I mean, I will give you my best photo. I'll give you my best self when we're sitting down and having that coffee. I will smile as much as you want me to smile. But deep down inside, I have some values that you might not align with yours. All right?
I like that.
How do you know?
Let me go back to clarity. When you understand your why,
yes,
your purpose,
yes,
you get to also know your values, your goals. When you're looking for a partner, you need to look for someone you're sharing values with, who sees your thing, because it is your thing, from your perspective and not from their perspective. Partnerships will fail because of desperation.
Okay.
You want this person here, but they have their own idea.
Yes.
I think I remember in the first class I gave you this.
Yes.
This and this part.
Yes.
And also even put it even with your staff. When you in partnership, you're expected to be one, but you're seeing this light side.
Yeah.
The partner is seeing
this other dark side.
But it's one hand.
Yes, yes.
So what you're trying to pull, you're pulling in different directions and not on one.
Yes.
That comes from lack of clarity on what you want. Why do you need this partner? Whether a financial partner or a partner you're selling shares to, what values do you share? That is what determines. And are you all looking at this?
Yes.
That is where we go wrong, because it's one hand,
but
two different sides.
Yes.
So that is where we go wrong with partnerships.
Yes, yes.
Partnerships that have blossomed, you share the same value, and you don't change who you are because this person is looking at this side. So imagine this person is here, then you change from here to here.
Yes.
You're all ending up in a ditch. And this person saw this.
Yes.
You're not getting them to see this. You want to follow to this.
Yeah.
But you're right, not all partnerships are good. So you need to really look for a partner, not from a point of desperation.
Yes, yes.
You can never be an island. And again, if partnership is too big, how about collaboration, where you still maintain your part and you're collaborating with this other part and you're still maintaining the business relationships.
Yes, and you don't lose your identity.
You don't lose your identity.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How about even having an exit clause with your partner?
Yes.
Something that is very clear.
Yeah.
You've planned, you've done your strategy, you've done your financial plan. You know, in the next 3, 5 years, 7 years, you're going to be fine. How about having that exit clause? We fail because, number one, you don't even have that exit clause. We don't have the right people with us. You know, you don't share the same value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow, Lillian. These are things I'm applying right now. As we are speaking, I'm just thinking, you know, this I'm applying here. It's all very practical, very easy to understand. And I like the way you unpack your ideas. And it's very clear in your book as well.
Yes.
It is very, very, very clear. And there's actually something I saw on page 61. It's a framework that I saw. It says, it's part of the lessons. Your business grows when you stop being the system, and start building the system.
True.
Yeah, that's a very deep statement right there.
It is.
That one I read and I reread.
Yes.
I even thought my glasses were not working okay, and I reread this because it unpacks in very different ways. Could you kindly take us through that?
So, when we talk about you being the system,
yes,
picture this. you've gone, okay, let's say, what's the best example I would give? You being the system, it means the business cannot run without you.
Yes.
The doors are closed.
Yeah.
You have the key. You have the locks for everything. That is what it means, being the system. That if you were to fall sick today,
I'm going with
that
my keys.
business cannot be opened because number one, no one even knows how to open it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is you being the system.
Yeah.
However, when you start building the system, you build a team around you. You build processes around you that even if you're late, be like me, I know if I'm late. I know Bansi there.
Yeah.
will handle a class.
Yes.
Even in my absence.
Yeah. Because you've equipped your people.
I have equipped Bansi, not just Bansi.
Yes.
I have equipped even potential collaborators that I can quickly call in. I think even I remember in your time, there's a time I had traveled to my mom's place.
Yeah.
And the class needed to continue.
Yeah.
You got Carol.
Yes.
And she was still able to deliver. Why?
Yeah.
We are aligned. Up to now, Carol and I do a lot of collaboration. She knows I can easily step in for her when she's not around.
Yes.
And she can easily step in for me. That is what is called building a system. So I'm talking about collaborations. Your team, empower your team.
Yeah.
There's no harm in training your team to do what you can do.
Yeah.
I think what founders and entrepreneurs, we have fear of unknown. Atapotea na knowledge yangu. Remember, purpose yako, your purpose is your purpose.
Yeah.
You know? What you've trained them, they can only do it better based on you. On their purpose and their calling.
Yeah.
Look at what if you don't train them. Number one, you're ruining your name because you look very irresponsible. And remember, we are saying we don't want to have the victim mentality. I am sick, I can't come. How about I am unwell? However, there's Bansi or there's a Rebecca, there's a Carol who can take you through.
Yeah.
That is what we call building a system. You know, you're getting someone who's better than you because, again, in business and in life, you need someone who's better than you. If you are the know-it-all, you're the alpha, you will never grow.
Yeah.
Yes. You're hiring people to control.
Yeah.
It will never work. You are still the system even if you have people helping.
Yeah.
How you get to know your building system is that your business can still run in your absence.
Yes.
That is how you get to know.
Yeah.
Well, there will be so many ups and downs because remember, you're not dealing with your brothers and sisters. Even if it's your brother and sister, you don't have, you're not working on the same path.
Yeah.
But alignment means you are in alignment with the person you're working with or collaborating with, and they can easily step in for you.
Yeah.
Structures mean that there's this payment that has come in. You don't have to receive the cash. You can go to the bank and you're able to view and still deliver. That is what it means.
Yeah.
There are still those old school. I want to see the message.
Yes.
I want to see. But again, it doesn't hurt to have someone who's in charge and then you're overseeing that, because another mistake we'll make is dropping. You've given this task and then you go. You step away from it. You still have a responsibility of oversight, however much you build system. You have a responsibility of mentorship. You have a responsibility of strategic direction to drive the business into profitability. There's still that.
Wow. So Lillian, entrepreneurship can get heavy and lonely because at the top, it's very few people will understand what you're doing. So very few people, maybe if they're there are few who will support you. But so now, what do you do to replenish yourself when you get to that point of loneliness and, emptiness? Yeah. Okay.
I think I would want to answer that in two parts.
Okay.
First of all, to avoid, entrepreneurship is lonely. It's very true. But how do you address that? I would like to maybe just give a brief on how to do that. It's with that fact, you need to get yourself in groups. There is what I've mentioned before, the wellness of life. That is not my work. It's something I've read about. It has the 7 wellness, wheel of wellness. It includes a social life. As an entrepreneur, I would honestly advise get yourself into groups of like-minded people, entrepreneurs. These networking groups, places of mentorship. Like now, for us, we have Ignite and Move, which works with entrepreneurs and under mentorship platform. So that is one of them. I'm in that, but I am actually, however much it's my baby, I'm not in it because I need to step on this other side to be mentored to, because I do mentorship for a living and coaching. I need to also step on this side and not facilitate. It's actually run by a different group of people, FDE, who we learn from them. So that's how I get to replenish myself, being on this other side. In a networking group, there are several networking groups that you can be in of like-minded people, and they help. I'm in one, and it helps. The people around you, I have friends, actually most of my friends are CEOs and business owners like yourself, and having that discussion, meeting at least once or twice in a month to just declare, because that person is the only person who can understand.
Will understand, yeah.
But now as a person, which is the second bit, how do I replenish my cup? How do I get my cup filled? I'm very intentional on my days, especially Monday. I call Mondays a founder's day. It's not a day for me, and what I advise other entrepreneurs, it's not a day for you to keep running around, having meetings on a Monday. Especially, the word is for entrepreneurs, especially if you're a solopreneur or you're running your business, which is very different from corporates. I know corporates have their meetings on Monday, but I'm emphasizing on founders and other entrepreneurs. Actually, the best days to have meetings is a Friday with your team. It's the slowest day of the week, I think, for most industries. And that is the time you're reviewing what happened from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So the action plans that is set on Friday gives you 2 days, the break, Saturday and Sunday, to reflect, even for the for employees. So Monday, you're starting off. It's not a day to, what do we do today? No. Monday is a day to start the week, a complete week, because you already have the flow from Friday with a break, then Monday you're working. So what do you do on Monday as yourself? It's a time to take it slow and refill your cup. Think about the strategies in your business, about yourself, about your life. Have I achieved what I wanted to achieve? Why I'm not talking about Sundays, because Sunday is a family day. Don't mistake that day for your personal day. It's not your personal day. It's yours and your family. Saturday, I consider it as a social day. Your friends, umeitwa rushes, all those things. Don't keep away from such, because that is what gets you away from work to rejuvenate. I do a lot of massages. I love driving. I will just wake up, but planned drives. I'll wake up and drive.
Long distance.
Long distance. I will move away from my environment. I like going home a lot because it's full of nature and all that. So there are times, once or twice in a month, you'll find me on the road going to my parents or even further. So that gets me from all this. And in a way, it refills. Then again, to refill your cup, you need to always put yourself in a position of listening. This time, it's not about speaking. Listen, get feedback. That's how you replenish and refill your cup. Listen to audios, the intellectual knowledge. What can I learn? What can I do this? That is how you replenish.
Amazing.
Besides other things.
Oh my gosh, I'm loving this conversation. Now, of course, for people who have been watching us and have enjoyed this conversation, there's that and more. On this book. So I want you to talk to our viewers right here. This is your camera. Talk to them on if you have any discounts. This is a time to tell us if you're giving us discounts, right? And where can you be found? And if you want this book immediately, as soon as we get to get this episode out, how do we get this book? Is it accessible? Is it online? Is it all that?
All right. So this book, the title is Average Thinkers Chase, High-Level Thinkers Attract. It talks about the 7 clarity principles of influence in building wealth. So just a summary it gets you, from all this discussion we've had today, it gets you or gives guidelines or basics on where to start, the starting point of how to be a high-level thinker and how to build an influence, because building wealth is not a one-time thing. You basically need to build it very intentionally. So this book gives about 7 principles of it. There are much more, but I chose what is working for me and what has worked for people. So this copy, physical copy, is 2,000 bob, Kenya shillings. We have an online copy, which the link will be shared
in the description.
On the description, which is 1377. So what comes with this book is once you get a copy, there is a code, because it's coming from this from this show, Off Mute with Becky. There's a code, Becky007. If you're able to quote this code, Becky007, when you're purchasing your book, you're able to get a 15 minutes free clarity call with me or any of my team that will move you from stagnation to a point of action. So besides this book, we have a number of programs and workshops, which will also be put up in the description. But when we started, I said we are more clarity driven. So when we are doing our strategies, when we work with entrepreneurs in our cohort, right now we're doing cohort 10, we start with self-awareness first, then we build strategies for the business. So we have other masterclasses, workshops that will be happening 3 times in a month, which will also be put up in the description. So we'll have 2 online sessions and 1 physical workshops on different topics. One of them is finding your why and your purpose. The other one is overcoming fear, how you deal with emotional intelligence. So those go into the workshop and the online session. So we have major programs, solopreneurs programs, which are quite advanced, which go for 7 weeks. But all that will be put on into the description. Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This was amazing. I wish you had this conversation like for 8 or 10 hours. I mean, the way you kept unpacking, very, very interesting. And here at Off Mute with Becky, we keep things real, we keep things practical, and we keep things simple. That is why we have amazing guests like Lillian and many others who, of course, will be coming and joining us as we continue. But as we continue, also remember to subscribe, because you also want to be alerted when the next video is out. Remember to subscribe, to like, and share with your friends and family so that we all get the benefits of this content. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Stay
for having
blessed.
me.